Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and I'm back in the Valley of the Sun, and the sun is out, and it is glorious. Had a great trip up there to Colorado, despite the fact that I show up with the first major cold blast / snowstorm in Colorado. Drove up the I-25 in a snowstorm. I won't say it was a massive snowstorm. It was pretty good. And it was 12 degrees on Monday. I know this. I know it's going to be like 60-something degrees up in the Front Range today. So the nice weather came as soon as I left. Isn't that how it always works? But good to be home. It was a great trip. Thanks to everybody up there. I got a chance to meet almost all of our show hosts, all of our advertisers up there. Had a great little get-together at the radio station there on Monday night. And it was just great to, put a face to the name, if you will. So got a lot of great things coming. Obviously, the election, everybody's talking about. My wife and I, we're actually voting today. Of course, that's subject to my wife changing her mind. But she did inform me last night that, because the polls are open here in Arizona, so you can vote in person, and that's what we're going to do. So tonight it looks like we'll be casting our ballots, and it's going to be wild. I mean, they're saying that already like 75 million people have already voted. I mean, by the time the actual day arrives, there may not be anyone left to vote. I mean, we're well over, I think we're, 65% of the people that voted the last time, the total people. Because I think it was like, 110 million, maybe 120 million total votes. People voted last election. And again, we're already well into the 70-plus million this time around. Maybe the best thing to do, I don't know, maybe the best thing to do is show up on election day. The line may be the shortest. I doubt it. I'm sure there's still going to be a lot of people doing it. I was talking to my mom up in Syracuse, and she says the lines are huge in New York for the voting there as well. So make sure you get out the vote. You know what to do. You know what we're up against. Absolute craziness. 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And I don't know. I don't know. I've been on the Trump's still going to win thing for a while now. I don't know what Wednesday's going to look like. I mean, are we going to have a clear-cut winner? Is it going to be contested? My biggest thing is I think a Trump win, I think people are going to try to seize the White House. Yeah, the left's nuts. That's just listen. Everybody's got a little nuts in them, but the extreme left, the nuttiest of them all. So make sure it's going to be interesting. I think a lot of people, nobody really knows what's going to happen. I think most people out there, we're worried. We're worried that there's going to be a lot of violence and looting, and let's hope not. I don't know if you saw in Philadelphia where, I can't explain. Why would people be rioting about a mentally deranged man wielding a knife that, unfortunately had to be put down? When you're threatening others and not obeying the police commands and you've got lethal force, that's what's going to happen. I think most people would be like, well, man, I wish, we could do something about all the mental problems out there. But listen, this is just part of the new society. We've drugged everybody up to death and all of these other things. I mean, it happens. But now it's like 3 days of looting. They had a van that had propane tanks, dynamite, and everything. So, I mean, basically getting ready, a huge mega bomb. I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. I really don't. I don't know what's happened to the moral fiber of America, but I do know what's happened. We all know, right? You turn your back on religion, and you turn your back on all of these things, and you decide that you want to praise and you want to glorify thuggery. You don't want to enforce laws, right? You want to disband the police. I mean, this is what you get. Chaos. I'm just hoping we don't have chaos on Wednesday. 800-951-0592. We've got a Dow that we had GDP, third quarter GDP. We had jobless claims. We've had a Dow that's been just taken out to the woodshed this week, trying to stay in positive. Right now, Dow's up 1 point. We'll talk about gold. We'll talk about silver, crude oil. I don't know what's going on with crude oil, but it's been absolutely kicked in the teeth, down another 4% today. So you're at about $35 a barrel. Cash market prices now into the 20s. And again, there's Europe shutting down, the United States shutting down. We'll try to get to as much of that as we can as we get ready. Oh, and clocks are changing. That doesn't mean anything for anybody out there anymore. We'll still be on the exact same time in Phoenix and the exact same time in Colorado. Ramona and I are running a few tests. Starting next week, I'll be going through the Phoenix pool. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. So we had third quarter GDP. We've been waiting. This is the first number, 33.1 was the number. The V shape still down. We had 32% down, 33% up. Still actually leaves you down overall. But again, if you believe that, it's hard. I got a hard time with it. I mean, you're going to tell me we had nobody going on vacation, right? Just didn't happen. And Disneyland's still not open. Nobody's on our airplanes. Nobody's in the hotels. Nobody's going to pro college sporting events. Yes, I know there was a lot of stimulus. There was. Absolutely there was. But you can offset all of that. Housing was a big piece of it, and there was a lot of home sales. But still, really? Okay. I mean, who knows, right? Does it matter? No. Housing, pending home sales, we got that number today. Looks like the housing bubble is slowing down. So I'm not saying it's bursting, but it's slowing down. A big drop in pending home sales. Prices got so no one can afford it. I mean, the uber rich. Retail sales, right? They said that was big in the number. And those were the two. Home sales and retail sales were the two big drivers. And I guess, they sent out the $1,200 checks. But I thought that had landed more in the second quarter than the third quarter. Because third quarter, you're talking July, August, September. And I know the stimulus, right? The extra $600 a week. But, again, something's just not right. No airplane sales. Boeing's a huge part of GDP. And, I don't know. Whatever. If you want to believe it, go ahead. Right? Really what we focus in on is, did the government just buy it? Hey, we just bought GDP this quarter. We just threw trillions of dollars at it. We just bought it. I mean, obviously, yes. But nonetheless, that was the number. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That was the number that they provided today. Jobless claims. Better, but not really again. So we had the same thing. So the last 3 weeks or so, we've had the jobless claims down in the sevens. This was like 750-something this week. Still, would be all-time record highs again. Still. I mean, think about this. This all-time record high jobless claims started in March. I mean, that's March. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, right? And we're still way above any number we have seen historically. The problem is there's these, what they call emergency claims. See, it depends on how you got laid off, apparently. If you're just flat out, hey, you're fired, we closed, or you're done, you're out, you got put into the 750 plus number. If you got the, hey, wink, wink, nod, nod, you're a furlough, you got put in this other bucket. I don't know. It's hard to tell. So here's what I've decided. I just go and pull up the actual government report because now in order to be accurate, you have to do some basic addition. The TV doesn't want to do it. Apparently, that's too hard. And again, they just want you to believe that everything's great. It's all about quote-unquote confidence. Right? They don't want you to know. They don't want you to know there's 23 million people that are getting some form of unemployment from the government. Now, does it really matter what form it is? Right? Does it matter? Does it matter if you're on the regular unemployment as we knew it? Or if you're on this emergency program? Does it matter? How can they sit there on TV and tell us there's 7 million people filing continuing jobless claims when the number's really 23 million? I don't know. I mean, God, I don't mean to get upset about it. Come on. Right? And understanding that, how can we have a GDP of 33% and again, the number's gotten better. But during this time, during the third quarter, this number was more like 27 million. I mean, you throw out kids, you throw out the people that are retired, and you're looking at, 15, 20% of the workforce? I don't know. I don't get it. But we don't have to get it. What we need to do is try to understand the rules of engagement. Right? We don't get to decide how they calculate these things. See, they have that meeting. See, all the bankers, they have the banker huddle. And they sit there and they're like, okay, hey, how can we come up with a way that shows that we're doing a good job? Right? Who's got it, right? And you're thinking about, go all the way back to Alan Greenspan, right? He's leading the meeting. He's in the boardroom. How do we do it? Somebody raised their hand and they're like, I know. Let's just change the equation altogether. And we'll baffle them with a bunch of bull crap, and we'll say, hey, this is how we're going to count it today. And that's what they've done. You think about, they've changed the way they calculate everything. GDP. You know how you get a positive 33% GDP? Right? Nobody's on an airplane, a cruise ship, a baseball game, a football game. No one's going to Disneyland. No one's staying at the hotels. You know how you get that? You just simply change the equation altogether. Same thing with unemployment. Listen, it's okay. It's okay. But you have to understand, this is why when they're talking about, based on this, why do we need more stimulus? Matter of fact, I'm watching the TV, and I know I should because you just become dumber when you watch TV now. Matter of fact, when I watch the TV, I try not to watch any news or anything. I just want to be dumbed down. I watch stupid, ridiculousness. Perfect. Right? Yeah. I'll watch that any day of the week because it's just dumb. But when we're sitting here watching all of this and how all of this plays out, I don't know what the answer is. Because obviously we didn't have 33% growth. Why would we have a stimulus? So I'm watching, and they show fourth quarter, the guesses for fourth quarter, and they showed J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch. And every one of them's got, somewhere mid-twos to mid-threes. Up. Oh, yeah, we're going to have 3.2% GDP growth in the fourth quarter. So, wait a minute. We have 33% growth in the third quarter, 3% growth in the fourth quarter. Why do we need more stimulus? Right? People are like, hey, whoa. No, we need trillions more. But again, that's the reason why. This is how you know it's not true, right? And someone way smarter than I kept talking about the nominal returns versus the actual. We had a nominal 33% GDP growth. What was the actual? I don't know. 10, 15. Of course, what was it actually without government help? Negative 30, right? I mean, I don't know what the answer is, but all as I know apparently is we need a lot more stimulus. Nancy Pelosi's now upset because Steve Mnuchin isn't moving fast enough. Listen, we're running out of time. I told you this. Get your orders in before a stimulus package gets done. And quite honestly, right now, thinking is it probably won't be until after Tuesday. The problem with that is, well, will we know who won? I don't know. It could happen at any moment. Because you got to remember, without stimulus, the 3% growth that J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs and all the rest of them are saying are going to happen, that's not going to be positive. It'll go negative if the money isn't there to save Christmas. So when you think about how this works, and I want to educate you again, from the second Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin say we have a deal, nothing happens. Then they've got to write the bill, right? Before you can see what's in it, right, you got to pass it. Well, someone's got to write something. How long that will take, I don't know. 3 to 5 days? Then it's got to get voted on by the House and by the Senate. And the Republicans are saying, hey, listen, we're not passing this a bunch of pork products. Who knows? There's going to be plenty in there. However long that takes. Let's just say that whole process takes 1 week. Okay? And so let's just say that, here we are. What is it? It's the 29th. It's not a deal today. And we're coming up on the weekend. So let's say, it's somewhere the 1st of November. Before you could even say it's passed, we're looking somewhere between November 1st and November 10th. And that's if it happened like on Monday or over the weekend. Then it takes another 3 to 6 weeks before anybody gets any money. So you start doing the math. Well, let's see. It's the November 10th, the 17th, the 24th, the 30th. Okay, best case scenario, you got it right on time. Worst case scenario, it's already the middle of December. Too late to save Christmas. So this is just my opinion. I think between now and next Friday, there's a deal. That's just what I think. There's a deal because there has to be. There has to be. And if there isn't, look for things to get uglier. How's that for an answer? 800-951-0592. The Dow is, again, battling between positive and negative. Gold, which was down really pretty big early in the day, has gotten almost all of it back. Gold's down 6. Silver has just turned positive as well. And we'll see what happened. Jobless claims, they spun it as good as they could. Actual real claims for the week, approaching 1 million when you have the emergency and the others. But the continuing claims number just under 23 million. That's probably the number we should talk about. If you only watch TV in the idiot box, 752,000 people file for claims and continuing claims, right? We're down to an unemployment rate the way they want to believe. I think it's below 6 or 6 and change now because most people are falling off. Once you've been unemployed for more than 6 months, the government puts you you're in a different bucket. You don't count anymore. We got a lot more people in that other bucket. I mean, that's just the problem. And then, of course, GDP. When we return, we're going to start talking about the new progressive movement and what it could mean for landlords. Yeah. Some of our left-wing states and cities now are creating laws that are going to, well, I'll say this. Before you become a landlord, you might want to know where you live first. So I'll tell you what they're talking about next. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, and it just gets weirder. And again, where does it end? These people making these laws have obviously never, ever have run a business a day in their life. I don't know how it works. And they come up with just absurdity. Here's the latest. This is coming out of Portland. This is a new law. Many tenants, they say, are struggling to pay their rent. Okay, we know this. We talk about commercial real estate. You wanna keep your money in the bank, that's up to you. I'm not telling you you should or you shouldn't. All I'm telling you is 30% of all the commercial real estate loans aren't being paid. Period. They're not being paid. You think any bank can survive that? You're kidding yourselves. Listen, think about the housing crisis. It wasn't even 5%, that ended up losing their homes. I mean, it was, now we're talking about 30%. I mean, the number's way bigger. And that's without having to worry about their expenses going up. See, they're concerned. Right? Their stuff's expensive. Yeah, you think, how about Portland? All the rioting and the looting. You think the landlords have lost a bunch of money? Right? You think, on top of people not paying, how many of their properties got ransacked, got looted, got damaged? But rent increases, well, that could really cause serious financial hardship, given the millions of people that are out of work. So they came up with a great idea. Apparently, there's a big problem. The city is now aiming to protect the tenants. Now, they didn't protect them during the rioting and the looting. I think if they had done that, right, maybe a lot less people would be out of work. I don't know. Call me crazy. It's just so funny. Hey, we're going to let these rioters burn the place down, shut it all down, cause all kinds of damage. But now we're going to do something. Here's their brilliant plan. The new ruling states that landlords must now pay their tenants' relocation cost if those tenants can't afford the rent increasing they're imposing. The rule will only apply to rent increases, okay? So just if you don't increase the rent, then you don't have to pay. I can't make it up. Listen, who elected these people? And you know what? Here's the funny thing. There's people out there cheering, thinking this is the greatest thing ever. And they said the landlords would be on the hook for $2,900 to $4,500 to allow tenants to move. They say that this Portland ruling is designed to protect tenants. It's not going to protect them. It's going to have the exact opposite effect. But landlords aren't happy about it. Landlords in Portland are now going to have to provide a minimum of 90-day notice. Now, most contracts, it's 30 days. And if you've ever rented buildings, usually there's, okay, hey, I'll rent it to you for a year, 2 years, 5 years. And when that terms up, then you can say, okay, well, if you want to rent, continue to rent here. Here's the new price. I mean, that's how it works. Apparently now, you got to give them 3 months notice. Okay, all right. It is what it is. And so they can notify the city that you're increasing the rent and they want money. It says that tenants can provide written notice that they require assistance, and the landlord would then be liable to pick up the tab for the relocation cost. Now, I haven't seen do they even have to provide financing? I don't know. I just can't afford it. Whether they could or not, I don't know. Of course, the goal here, they say, is not to hurt the landlord. You just let them riot for 90 days. But to help ensure that the tenants don't fall victim to homelessness. What are they talking about? In the absence of a statewide eviction moratorium. Obviously, anybody with an IQ higher than room temperature knows this is definitely going to hurt the landlord. So I'm just letting you know, this is real. This is happening. And think about the liberal enclaves where you live. Look at Phoenix. Now, city of Phoenix starting to go to the left. And then, the surrounding city, Scottsdale and Mesa and Tempe, well, I don't know about Tempe, but are still right. Think about like Denver and think about Boulder. Right? Far, far left, and you're going to start seeing these things everywhere. They are going, basically a message is being sent out to small business owners everywhere. Don't do it. Right? And just crushing the entrepreneurial spirit of America and the middle class and the dumbness of these laws. It's kind of like San Diego County. Oh, well, grades are racist. Today, I'm driving in this morning into work, and I don't listen to the news station. I got the 80 station on, and they're talking about whether or not every kid should be able to pass this year. Yep. That no one should fail. Do the work, don't do the work, zoom in, don't zoom in, go to class, don't go to class. Everyone passes. How is that going to help us as a country? Right? And again, what do you mean everyone passes? What all that does? What does that incentivize? That isn't even. Hey, I'm really going to not do anything, right? I mean, it's idiotic. All I know is I'm just thinking about some of these companies over the next couple of years. They'll be like, wait a minute. Oh, wait, you spent the last 2 or 3 years in pandemic mode? Yeah, I don't know if we want to hire you, right? I mean, seriously, think about it. Is any learning happening out there? I mean, I just don't get it. I continue to sit here day in and day out, and I'm shocked by what I see. And it's happening, whether it happens this election or the next election, it's happening. And I sit there and I think about Jeffrey Gundlach yesterday. I was telling you, he says revolution 2027. I know, right? And I think most of us out there going, that's not crazy. I mean, that used to be crazy talk. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. The layoff announcements picking up steam. Yesterday, it was Boeing, it was Las Vegas, MGM, Tropicana. It was, I forget which one of the oil companies had a big layoffs announced. Charles Schwab was laying off. Today, Raytheon, 20,000 layoffs following up on Boeing. Then just right now, ExxonMobil. And again, I've been worried about the oil patch and this latest move here. Get ready. Another big wave coming. ExxonMobil laying off 15% of its U.S. workers, 1,900 jobs out of ExxonMobil. By the way, ExxonMobil, it's ExxonMobil. They got a market cap of $136 billion. But you're like, that's it? That's it? Zoom's got a higher market cap. I mean, this is how nutty everything is. When you think about Zoom versus Exxon, Zoom's got a total revenue is about $1.3 billion, and again, most of that because of Corona. Exxon's got revenues of $214 billion. Just to give you an example. Employees, Zoom's got 3,400 employees. ExxonMobil had 75,000 worldwide. And yet Zoom's got a $141 billion market cap. Well, maybe Exxon stock will go up now that they have announced layoffs again. And just this is what the realities are. We've had a lot of bankruptcies, we know. But there is a huge, huge piece of business that's barely hanging on. Any little thing, and that's going to be it. You know, we saw Illinois yesterday saying that 2/3 of the state, no more, back to bars closed, no more in-room dining, right? You start, if this thing starts spreading, it'll be absolutely devastating. And of course, the stimulus bill, and I've already told you, regardless of whether there's more shutdown, that's not enough. This $2 trillion, there's going to be more coming. You got to get ready. You need to be prepared. Yesterday, man, did we sell silver yesterday? It was absolutely, no, and I wasn't even here, so I missed all the action. We sold out of the Silver Eagles yesterday. We were on the phone with the Bullion Bank this morning. They have one more shipment coming in, not this Monday, next Monday. Okay, so not, November 2nd, but November 9th. There will be it's official now, there will be no more silver for the rest of the year. There are Silver Eagles available. Now, here's the thing. Yesterday, I actually caught the bottom. I never catch them, but we caught the bottom yesterday. Silver's up now. Matter of fact, silver just, went positive, up 9-10 cents now. So it's up about 50 cents from where I bought it yesterday. I'm going to split it with everybody. If you want silver, two things. If you're buying Silver Eagles, number one, you can't call saying, where is it? It's going to take 2 weeks. Okay? No calling. Now I said, of course you're going to, but no calling. You're going to get it. It's just going to take 2 weeks. I want to keep it under $600, so $595. $595. And right now, anyway, this is something where it may be 2 cases, it may be 3 cases, but this is it. It's official. He said, listen, this is it. I'm not allowed to call him. He's not allowed. You guys aren't allowed to call me. But $595, it won't even hit the Bullion Bank until the 9th of November. It will ship on the 10th. I promise you that. If it shows up there really truthfully on the 9th, it will ship to me on the 10th, and we'll get them right out to you. So if you want Silver Eagles, $595 at 800-951-0592. We've had a nice pullback in gold, about $30+ here over the last 2 days. U.S. $20 liberties. Right now they're 21.35, 21.45, something like that. 20.95. Yeah, so below 2,100, which I did not think that was going to happen again. So I got 2 great items. Silver Eagle rolls, $5.95. $20 gold pieces, $20.95. So right now, gold's down about $6, $18.72, $18.73. Silver is up 9 cents at 23.46. 23.46 on silver this morning. 800-951-0592. And I know it's a busy time out there. Everybody's a little nervous. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. Yesterday I told you what gold's going to do based on the scenario. So I forgot one. Trump wins, Republicans control the Senate, gold's up, but it'll be up the least. Trump wins, Democrats control the Senate, gold's up even more. Biden wins, Republicans hold the Senate, gold's up even more. Biden wins, Democrats get the Senate, gold's through the roof. There's another scenario. We don't know who won. I mean, that's a lot of people thinking that could be it. That's another one. If I was to put that into what does that mean for gold, I would put it more likely favoring the Biden wins versus the Trump wins. I don't know exactly where it fits. Is it the highest? Is it the lowest? No, it's probably somewhere right in the middle with a we don't know who won category. 800-951-0592. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Just stay on hold. We'll get you in the order that you called. I'm hoping that we can continue this for another day. It doesn't look good, but silver, you got one more shot. Got to be patient. A little Guns N' Roses, a little patience. It's going to be a couple of weeks. Just a quick update. The Silver Eagles from the last couple of weeks and the 10th ounce are going to be hitting tomorrow. So get ready for those people waiting on those. Those are going to be in Colorado and in Phoenix tomorrow, along with the first round of $5 Liberties, $5 Indians, and $10 Indians. All of that tomorrow. So be ready for if you've got pickups. Be ready for Jason or Arlene to be reaching out to you tomorrow at some point to schedule appointments. If you're waiting on shipping, they'll be shipping out tomorrow as well. Today, we got two great items. Rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles. Listen, this is silver went, $23. That's probably the low, I think. But we don't know. It could maybe get lucky, go a little lower. But you're not paying the huge premiums. It's not the $10 and $12 premiums below $600. I've already told you that by this time next year, I think silver's threatening all-time highs. So that's $50. So is it a great buy? Yeah, I think so. $20 Liberties below $2,100. $2,095. So two great items. And, remember, we want an ounce of gold for every year you're alive. The silver is just in case, right? Just in case, right? The rioting and the looting happens everywhere, bank runs and all these other things. 800-951-0592. It's been a really tough week, hasn't it? We learned about last Friday about the FCC rule or the FDIC rule changes that, maddening, makes no sense. Right now there's going to be some kind of formula, and you got to provide documentation, and it just gets weirder, And then, of course, the rules that they already had passed about, could you imagine, there's no stimulus, the election's contested. There's rioting and looting everywhere, right? Wall Street starts getting hammered because no one wants to do anything because they don't know who's going to win. And, there's a lot of crazy scenarios out there that aren't very good. And again, I think the best possible outcome is just a clear winner on Tuesday. And of course, obviously, I want it to be Donald Trump, but it may not be, but a clear winner. Otherwise, yeah, look out. 800-951-0592. Quick last look here at the market today. The Dow is hanging in there, up 65, so it's better than being down. The S&P's up 20, the Nasdaq's up 150. Crude oil at $35 and change. Gold's down 7 right now at $18.71, and again, silver, 23.40 some and change. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. One more show. Hey, here's the good news. Tomorrow is Friday.